Come on in, welcome to my home. So today we are doing our second part, or maybe it's the first part, second part of our self-care, and we are talking about mental health. And there are a couple things that I need to really get out of the way. And one of the first ones is, remember, I'm not an expert. I am learning these things as I go along, and I'm telling you what I'm learning. So as I learn new things, I will update these videos or make new videos to retrace some of the things which probably have changed in this time that I've learned these things. However, one of the big things that I've found about self-care is that self-care, when it comes to mental health, is not about feeling good all the time. You shouldn't feel like happy all the time. I'm not even sure if that's even possible. So it also means that you shouldn't beat yourself up for not feeling happy all the time. This is about understanding your feelings and being able to deal with your feelings in a hopefully a positive way, hopefully. But remember, there are a couple of things to also remember. Is if one of them, big one, is like if you need or want to get professional help with dealing with your emotions, your feelings, that sort of thing, that's wonderful. You can. But if you also don't want to do this, that's also fine. As long as you can figure out ways to deal with your own emotions, your own feelings, that's good. So that way you don't have, you're not making your conditions worse. I have notes right here. So if you see me looking down, that is why. And the other thing which I thought everybody knew, but they don't, a lot of people think that, it's a one-stop thing. I deal with my emotions, I deal with my mental health this one time, and it's done. It's not. This is something you're going to want to keep doing. It's an ongoing thing. It's like brushing your teeth, taking a bath. You want to do these things in an ongoing way, and they also need to work for you. Because some of the things, when I first started thinking about self-care, I thought that was way too far out there. Did I really want to lay underneath a tree or talk to birds? No, and realistically, that's not necessarily part of self-care, but it could be part of your self-care because everyone's self-care is different. You need to find what works for you versus, this is it. This is how you do it. No, yours is going to be completely different from what works for me. So let's get into it. One of the first things that I'm going to tell you that I had to do was set boundaries. There needs to be some boundaries when it comes to self-care. Like, you can't constantly be bowing down to other people, other things. You have to look at, hey, is this going to actually help me or is this going to actually hurt me? If you feel absolutely beyond drained after doing certain things, maybe that's not the right thing you should be doing. There are some things that you can't help, but you have to do. I understand that. I really do. But you need to be able to set the boundaries of like, if you know that this person in your life is toxic, it's okay to limit the amount of time that you set with that person. The other thing it doesn't have to be a person. It can also be a thing. No, right here, I'm looking for my phone. There it is. It could also be this wonderful device because the one thing you want to remember is don't compare yourself to other people. And especially don't compare yourself to other people on social media because they're literally showing you even like you saw my video. My video was not the best week ever, but it still wasn't as bad as it got because I curated what you saw. You only saw parts of what happened. So yeah, comparing yourself to other people, you might not know their backstory. You might not know what's going on and all those things. And even if you think you do, you might not. So yeah, don't compare yourself to other people. Don't worry about, the fact that, oh, I'm not living up to this standard. Well, okay. As long as you are dealing, coping, moving forward in a way that you find acceptable, that's good. And like I said, if you need extra help, seek the extra help. That is wonderful. Find the extra help. It is great. There are people who need extra help. There are people who don't need extra help. But finding a professional who knows how to deal with these things, that's great. And remember, I am learning. I am not a professional. So the advice that I'm giving to you is what I've learned so far. I'm sure there's probably new things out there, and like I said, I'll update this, but let's jump back to my script now. Okay. So one of the best things that you can do for when dealing with your mental health is self-awareness. You need to know more about yourself, and you're asking yourself, well, how am I going to learn more about myself? I personally go towards journaling. However, that being said, also doing my weekly vlogs, I also do that. So that way I can talk through, I can explain myself, tell what's going on. But the other part about this is none of that means anything if you don't reflect upon it. So I can journal to my heart's desire, but unless I actually look at what I've journaled or look at what I've recorded and think back onto the whole, how did I get myself to that point, it doesn't mean anything. So, yeah, expressing yourself is great. Expressing yourself is wonderful. Understanding why these things happen, and that comes with more. The more you journal, the more you express, the more you reflect upon what's going on, the more you'll begin to understand yourself. So self-awareness is super important. Along with self-awareness comes in with being present. I was always of the opinion that being present meant that you only thought about the right here and now. You didn't plan on the future. As I've been learning about this, it's not. It's not about that, like, completely. As you're doing something, you want to be doing that thing. You want to be focused in on that thing. Like right now, I am focused in on making this video. Am I worried about what I'm going to make for dinner tonight? Nope. Am I worried about, are the dishes done, that sort of thing? No. That's the whole big thing of mindfulness, being in the present moment. One of the things which helped me with mindfulness was having lists of stuff that needs to be done, making lists of things that need to be done that I can check off or cross off every time I get something done, so that way I'm not sitting there worried about, well, did I forget to do that? Is that going? No, I have it on my list. I'll get to it. So it's okay for me to be involved with washing the dishes, being present, and listening to birds or even my phone, which just living in that present moment is really good versus the whole thinking about all the things which are coming up, or even worse, think about all the things which could happen in the future or things which have happened in the past. Living in the here and now. One of the things that I have found that really helps me live in the present is doing simple things. I love to garden. So when I'm gardening, I am into gardening mode. I am literally checking the soil, seeing the temperature, seeing the sun, seeing what's there. And for me, that really helped my mindfulness. That helped me really be in that moment, really think about what I'm doing, how I'm doing it. And that became a wonderful thing. Now, other people love breathing exercises, coloring. There are all sorts of different ideas that you can learn how to be mindful of something. Another thing that lots of people do, they like to take walks. Going on a walk in nature and listening to the sounds of nature, the smells, what you're feeling, that helps you be in that moment because you are concentrating about what's happening around you. One of the things which I didn't realize that I was doing until I started doing this is I like to be at home, love being at home. But one of the things that I like to do is sometimes I'll just sit quietly and listen to the sounds. My refrigerator. Off in the distance, I can hear the birds, I can hear the cars, I can see things, I can see the view. So yeah, I can tell you right now that is it a little cool in my house? Yeah, it's a little cool, it's a little damp outside, but that's part of being mindful. I am living in this present moment. I am enjoying this present moment. That's the fun part about this. I not just am living in it, but I'm enjoying it and finding ways that I can really realistically just take it in and enjoy it. Okay, this last week, one of the bigger problems, my hair flew into my mouth. Okay. This last week, one of the bigger problems that I had was listening to the negative thoughts in my head when the video didn't work. Oh yeah, my negative talk was just running wild, telling me how everything was going to be failing, how the whole channel was going to die, how it wasn't good enough, and that was a problem. I, like, what happened in that moment was the fact that I was panicking and I was like, what if this absolutely, I have nothing to back up for a backup. I didn't know what I was going to do. Well, the negative thoughts were really bad. So what did I do? I started thinking about them rationally. I would analyze each negative thought and figure out what could I do about that. So, okay, if the video hadn't been able to be saved, I was like, I could do a really quick video, which is literally about the video not being able to be saved. Like, oh, okay, that's not bad. I was worried about, what are people going to think about that video? I can't control your thoughts. I don't know. I have no idea what people are going to think about this. And that's okay. I don't have to be able to control what you think about the video. I can try, I can do that, but I'm doing the best that I can, and I have to remind myself that, yeah, you are doing the best that you can. You should feel proud of the work that you've done. Look how far you've come. That's where also journaling and making videos and that sort of thing is really cool, because I can look back at this and say, hey, whoa, whoa, whoa. Remember when you used to sit in front of the camera and be like, well, maybe. Yeah, I used to do that. As I've become more comfortable with the camera, I can now look at you, which I'm not really looking at you, I'm looking at the camera lens, but I can now look at you and enjoy this and have fun doing this. I'm enjoying myself, I'm having fun, and it's okay. It's okay to be in that spot where it's just like, no, do I have all the answers? No. Is that okay? Yes. Will I figure things out? Yeah, I probably will. So I encourage myself the way that I would encourage a best friend. And that's the thing which I think is really important, is think of yourself as being your own best cheerleader. Cheer yourself on. Don't get down on yourself. If you made a mistake, guess what? Everyone makes mistakes. Learn from your mistake. Figure out how you can do it better next time. And that's fine. Don't dwell on that. Don't sit there and beat yourself up because you were bad. And how do you do this? All I can tell you is mine came with practice. Being able to not get down on myself for the mistakes that I've made, not to beat myself up for the things that have happened, that took practice. There are lots of articles, lots of things about that. If you want me to talk more about how you can be your own cheerleader, let me know down in the comments. But it does. It's one of those things where some people have it instantly. They are just born with it, which is great, cool. Other people have to learn it. And if you're one of those people who has to learn it, the best way to learn it is to practice. One of the other things that you can do, which is something that I really did, especially this Friday, when you get a victory, big or small, celebrate yourself. Congratulate yourself. Let yourself know that you did a good job. You're proud of yourself. That's important. Because once you do that, and you start celebrating the big victories, and the small victories, the victories pile up, and you start really noticing those victories. Now let's talk about setting boundaries. Did you know there's a word that you can say that is absolutely okay? And that word is no. No, thank you. No, I don't think I can do that. No. Do you know that you don't necessarily have to explain yourself when you say no? You don't. The other part about that is also when people tell you no, they really don't have to explain themselves. They can if they want to. But setting your boundaries, knowing that, this is going to be too much for me to handle. Saying no is an important boundary. Along with that, you also need to communicate your needs. What do you need? What do you want? What is it that you're looking for out of this situation? So that way people have some idea what it is that you're looking for, what it is that you need, what can they help you with, that sort of thing. And once you get to that point where you can communicate what you need, it's better. It's much better. This also helps with the whole, even though you don't have to say no, if you can communicate with your reasoning behind saying no, that might help people later on when they were like, well, I could ask so and so to do this for me, but I know that they have a problem with that, so I won't. Communication is really key. Communication with yourself and communication with others. And you need to tell yourself when things aren't, if this isn't working, every time you do this, you feel bad about yourself. Let yourself know. Let yourself know it's okay to say no. One of the things that we have to really start doing, it is okay to take a break from social media. It's okay to take a break from, being surrounded by people. You can sit at home and just have a nice, quiet weekend. Is there anything wrong with that? No. No, there's not. We used to grow up with the whole, you need to be doing something. Idle hands. It's like, well, no, you don't. You don't have to be doing anything. Sometimes just sitting there enjoying the moment is wonderful. Disconnecting from bad situations is a great thing. It's a great way to help yourself and help the people around you is by taking care of yourself. Do you know if you're in a airplane and the air mask comes down and you're with your family, relatives, those sort of things, the first thing that they tell you is put your mask on first. Then you help the other people. Why? Because if you have your mask on first, then you have the ability to help other people versus needing help because maybe you got the mask on your little kid who then has no idea how they can help you because you just passed out. Yes, that's an extreme example and I know that, but it's something that you need to think about. Make sure that you are taking care of yourself even if you still have to take care of others too. Because if you're no good, you're probably not going to be able to take care of others that well. So yeah, taking care of yourself is good. Thinking about yourself, not all the time, but thinking about what works for you is also good. Then, as I said in the beginning, if you need extra help, like professional help to deal with these things, that is perfectly fine. Don't ever let anybody tell you that, no, you're weak if you can't do it all by yourself. You are not. You are not. You are not alone. Lots of people need help. Lots of people need somebody to talk to. Maybe it's a professional person. Maybe it's just somebody who is a good person in your life. Find those people who help lift you up, who make you feel good about yourself, because once you get to that point, you can really, really, really start taking care of yourself even more, but it's still a journey. It's not a whole snap your fingers and suddenly you are perfect. You have everything worked out, figured out, and everything. I know, like I said, this video will probably get remade because as I'm going through this and learning more, I'm learning more. And that's what I want to really convey. I am not an expert. I am learning things as I go all along. If you know things which help with self-care, let me know down in the comments. At this time, I'd like to take this chance to thank these wonderful people who helped me go on these wonderful journeys of self-care and were also there when I had a total meltdown about last week's video. If you want to become part of the Patreon family or part of the channel members family, where you get these videos early and you get a behind the scenes of what's going on, just go ahead and join the Patreon or channel members. If you're not interested in that, but you still really want to help the channel, there are a few things that you can do. You can watch the videos all the way through. That lets the YouTube algorithms know that this is a video that is pretty good. And then also you can like and share these videos. That also lets YouTube algorithms know that the video is good. And it's a great way to help your favorite YouTuber. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope I get to see you again the next time we stop by. I'm human. Yeah, remember that. We all make mistakes. I hope you enjoy this. I hope I get to see you again the next time you stop by. Hey, this is outro me, and I thought I would add the reason I'm leaving that in, the mistake, is because it's normal. People make mistakes. I don't know why YouTube thinks that we should get rid of every single mistake that we make. No, this is human. This is what normal people do.